On today's episode of the DeRaud-Messinger Show, we're making our Week 4 Texas high school football picks. High school football fans, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. It's greatly appreciated. So to begin, Dylan, I'm going to set you up here, probably, but I don't really want to. How do we do last weekend? I don't like really being, I don't know, accountable for my picks, but was I at least okay? I mean, it's all about me. Whatever you did, that's fine. But how do we do?
Yeah, word of this year, Devon, has definitely been accountability. We did not hold ourselves accountable, I think, the past 2 years. So I don't know. I think we referenced it, but we've been actually keeping track with an Excel sheet to make sure that when Devon does mess up, we remind him. But Devon, last week you actually went 3-0 in your main games, which is the first time this year. Prior to this, you were going 2-1 in the past two. So tough scene for you, but congratulations on finally getting these first three games correctly before we get in the lightning round. And then Devon, talking about totals here, I'm sitting comfortably at 42-16, and then you're going to be one game behind at 41-17. So you got one game to make up in this video.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And of course, so these people know, is that all these matchups are ranked matchups. So Dylan, I think we're doing pretty good so far. It's easy to go one way or the other. And speaking of one way or the other, Dylan, already a team that I disrespected last weekend. I apologize. Dylan, I think, also disrespected. So this is a communal apology, if you will. Prosper, number 17 Prosper, that is, at number 6 Geyer. Now, Dylan, if you know anything about me, if you've watched enough of these videos, you would know I am a Geyer stan. Even though the quarterback is an OU commit and Jackson Arnold, I still love the man. I believe Dylan. Don't quote me if I'm wrong here, but I believe the Arnold mustache is gone, so maybe that's a playoff stash. Maybe it's time to bring it back against Prosper, Dylan, get the mojo rolling. But he doesn't really need to. He's got plenty of targets around him, and then Geyer in the secondary has the Bowen brothers, Peyton and Eli. But, however, Prosper only allowed 11 points against Rockwall last weekend, and Rosar at quarterback did enough to get the job done. But Dylan, getting the job done against Geyer is not enough. You're going to have to show up and show out. I got Geyer in this one.
Yeah, I think Prosper's got more things to worry about than that mustache, Devon, going into this game. This is their first district game this year, I think, for both of these teams. This is not the one you want when you're Prosper. Obviously, they had a good win, proved us both wrong against Rockwall last week when we both picked against Prosper, which is definitely not good. But Denton Geyer is coming off a win against Lancaster, who had, I believe, hadn't allowed more than 3 points in their prior two matches, and then Denton Geyer proceeded to hang 50 on them. So safe to say Arnold's clicking on all cylinders. Their defense is nothing to joke about either. They've only been allowing around 18 points per game defensively. So Prosper's going to be in for a long one. And I know the major concern for Prosper is can they keep up with Denton Geyer's offense? I just don't see that happening, Devon. So I'll be going with you on Denton Geyer again this week. Now, their next one, Devon, we actually have a tough one here. We got 4A D1, number 3 Celina at number 6 Anna. Devon, Celina went into Spring Legacy and was up 51-0 at the half. So safe to say they're doing pretty well for themselves all around. But Anna does have two D1 talent athletes with QB Evan Bullock, who's committed to Louisiana Tech, and running back Dubar, who's committed to Boise State, Devon. So I believe Celina is favored in this matchup, but this is going into Anna, who's looking to score a big win on the season. And especially at home, Devon, in this atmosphere, I'm more inclined to go with the skill talent. So I'll be going with Anna at home.
Dang, okay, you're bringing out the facts there. Celina, could be Celina, Dylan, but I think it's Celina, respectful
You're
here.
probably more right. You're probably more
Maybe when it comes to pronunciations, but if it comes to picks, Dylan, you're doing a lot better than you were doing in high school. It seems like the grade point average has increased. You're beating me up over here. But
right. Okay.
Anna, shots aside, they got their work cut out for them on defense. Though I know you talked about the talented players they've got, but quarterback for Celina, Noah Bentley, and then running back you got Gabe Gayton are leading the way. And Celina, I believe, went to the state semifinals last year. The high-ranked team, I don't like saying, the rankings matter because, they don't. The only thing that matters is a scoreboard, but in this one, I'm going Celina. The next game we have, Dylan, is China Spring versus Waco Connally. Spring is the second-ranked team in 4AD1, and Connally is number 10. Now, another team I've disrespected quite often, it seems like already this year, Dylan. It might have only been one time, but China Spring is that team. I know they lost. Yeah, I know they lost their quarterback. I understand. I made that point before, but I can't make that point again. They got wide receiver / defensive back Trey Hafford, and at running back they got Kyle Barton leading the way for them. And Dylan, they've made me look silly already so far this season. I don't like being made silly unless Dylan's taking shots at me. So I'm going to pick China Spring here, hoping I get it right. However, Waco Connally does also have D1 talent on their team, so something to watch out for. It would be a sneaky, Waco area matchup where something could happen, but I don't think it's going to in this one. I got China Spring.
Yeah, Devin, this is an interesting one. Waco Connally did have that victory over Waco La Vega.
Yeah.
But every week that continues to not look as impressive as La Vega has lost the last 2 games. So that big win, as much as it's good for confidence, later in the season, that ranking-wise, I don't know if it's going to be there, as well as they're allowing, or an average of 31 points per game defensively to opponents, Waco Connally is. So that defense has been struggling, and this is not an offense that you want to be struggling against, which is going to be China Springs. Devin, you talked about Trey Hafford, as well as Kyle Barton at running back. I want to talk about their D lineman, Greg Salazar, and Jalen Trotter, who was on their team last year. And it's going to be a tough team to move the ball on, especially with those 2 big guys up front. Devin, I'm going to be going with China Springs on the road.
That sounds like a good pick, a little biased here. But speaking of bias, right, we love lightning. We got a little bit of lightning here, the lightning round. Of course, top-ranked matchups as fast as we can, although sometimes Dylan likes to point out that I like to take my time here. But this week, no, we're speeding through. The first game we have number 4 in 4AD1, Corpus Christi, Cal Allen, at number 4 in 4AD2, Cuero. I have Cuero.
Evan, I believe the first time we picked with Cuero, it was against El Campo. We both had El Campo, and El Campo proceeded to get crushed by them. So we're not going to make that same mistake. We're going with Cuero. For our next one, then we got 2AD1, number 2, Holly, at 2AD2, number 1, Albany. Devin, this is a toss-up, but Albany is the team that I chose to win 2AD2, so I'm going to be going with them.
I have Albany as well. Next game we have the thriller, 2AD2, number 2, Mart, at number 9 in 2AD1, Centerville. Dylan, this is kind of a game that could be closer than people would think, but you don't pick against Mart. That's like Newton's 4th law, so I have Mart.
I have Mart as well. Devin, next we got 1AD1, number 4, Garden City, at number 3, May. Devin, I'm going with May at home.
I love May, and I seem like I always pick them, but Garden City has more experience. I'm going Garden City here. And then next game we have, Dylan, this team has at least upset you once so far. You got number 6, Lorraine in 1AD2 versus number 10, Ira in 1AD1. I got Lorraine.
I have Lorraine as well, Devin.
But more importantly, of course, our picks don't really matter in the whole scheme of things. Your picks are the ones that matter to us. Let us know which game you're looking forward to most. And don't forget, of course, to have a great rest of your day.